Welcome back to 2020, A Time for Change. Sports and athletes have always had those moments when they are able to transcend our differences and create change. And this summer, we have seen athletes out front in the fight for social justice, voting rights, and so much more. Never one to sit on the sidelines, NBA star CJ McCollum announced yesterday a new talk show he's hosting for PlayersTV called ReMaking America. It's going to tackle social issues head on, and he joins us now. Hi, CJ.
Hello, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
You are launching November 3rd. There's a big thing happening that day. It's the day of the election. I mean, I'm excited for that show, but we got a lot going on right now. We just had the debate. So you're going to be kind of taking over our jobs here. I want to put you on the spot. If your show were on this week, what conversation would you be having about the debate and specifically President Trump's comments on white supremacists?
Well, first and foremost, it was tough for me to watch, just as I'm sure it was for everyone else. A lot of going back and forth, a lot of arguing, a lot of lack of maturity being displayed throughout the discussion. But I think that the reoccurring thing that's been discussed, not only on TV, but amongst, some of my circles and from a lot of athletes who were able to watch, is the fact that he refused to denounce specific forms of racism coming from the likes of the Proud Boys, among other groups. And I think that's something that's kind of stuck out, especially to me as an African-American, a member of the Black community who continues to try to figure out ways to fight for us as a whole and as a collective. I think, not being able to do things as simple as that kind of shows you where we're at right now from the man who's leading our country.
And I want to follow up with a question, actually, one of my co-anchors, Sibile Marcellus, asked another guest, which is, do you think that the debate, what was the impact, do you think, on people of color in terms of getting them either excited about going out to vote, or are people, kind of just giving up here? Did the debate make an impact one way or another?
I definitely think, based on what I've heard and seen from, More Than a Vote and some of the campaigns I'm a part of, is that we've done a great job of spreading awareness on the importance of the vote, the importance of each vote, especially the minority vote, and being able to see how the first debate went. I hope that's inspired people to want to go out and try to promote change, inspire people to really understand that it's not only important to vote November 3rd for the election, but some of the local campaigns that are going to be going on, and just understanding the importance of voting in your communities. I come from a small city, Canton, Ohio, about 70,000 people, but being able to really take advantage of voting in all aspects is extremely important to us. And I think based on what we've seen, a lot of people are inspired and encouraged to go and vote. And if you're not inspired to go vote after that, I don't know what else you need to see.
So, CJ, there's often the frequent criticism that athletes need to just shut up and play. But historically, sports has often been used as a diplomatic tool. The Olympics comes to mind, and as a way to transcend not just borders, but also politics. What do you think that the role is of athletes, particularly in a moment like this one, to have the conversations that perhaps most people don't get to hear, or even to bring to the table folks that often don't get to come to the table?
Yeah, I think we have a huge responsibility, obviously understanding where we've come from and what we've been able to accomplish to get to this point. A lot of the neighborhoods we grew up in, a lot of those kids, a lot of those families, my cousins, even my brother, aren't treated the same way we're treated. Obviously, we're extremely privileged to be able to be compensated the amount of money we are. We have a different type of spotlight, but we're speaking on behalf of those who don't have a voice. We're speaking on behalf of those who aren't treated the same way we are when we're pulled over. And I think we have a responsibility to not only speak up on behalf of them, but to continue to try to educate people, especially kids who are looking up to us, and to kind of paint that picture of why it's important you read, why it's important you educate yourself on matters outside of what you're comfortable with. And I think me as a professional athlete, I've learned a lot, and I'm ignorant in a lot of ways because I wasn't exposed to some of these uncomfortable conversations that we're now having in regards to voter suppression, education reform, some of the criminal justice issues we have that seems to target Blacks and Browns.
Do you think we've moved past the criticism for not standing during the national anthem? Do you think we've evolved from that point?
I thought we did, and then I watched a football game where the players stood in unison to show that they are supporting each other and to show that they care about equality, they care about spreading the message, and they still were booed. So at that point, I knew that there's just something that's deep ingrained into our society to where, regardless of how you protest, some people are just uncomfortable with you continuing to support Black people, people of color, and understanding the importance of equality. So I think we are past it, but there's just some people that, they were raised a certain way in which they will never conform to our realization of equality.
In terms of, you as a public person, you're also an entrepreneur. You're out there with your show now. You're a business person as well. What do you want to do with your show? What kind of a range of issues and guests, I guess, do you want to have come on?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that the biggest thing we wanted to do was continue to spread awareness, have those uncomfortable conversations. And it's an educational process for me as well. I'm no expert in the realm of politics by any means, but I think having those conversations, being able to ask those questions and figure out actionable ideas, similar to what we were trying to do in the bubble, figure out ways to immediately impact our society. And one of the things we came up with was opening up some of the polls, opening up some of our stadiums and allowing those to be polls to create larger environments for people. I think, being able to not have games, not have practices on the election day allows us to go out and continue to help. So the show will more so be centered around people who work in politics, activists, professional athletes. Obviously, I love to have authors on, a variety of guests, because the conversations that need to be had need to expand upon so much more than sports. And we need to focus on all the issues that we have in today's society.
CJ McCollum, you are really good at our job. I don't think any of us are as good at doing your job. Thank you so much. And we will be sure to watch the new show. ReMaking America is going to be out on November 3rd, which you already have in your calendars. Thanks a lot.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.